Listen. Thank you for joining us. I know it's a little late right now, but Zach and I are over here live streaming on a Monday, 9:50 for me, 10:50 from a man over here, a little bit late on that side. We will be doing the Intercut podcast live stream. For those of you guys who do watch that entire thing, we're going to be doing that maybe tomorrow, maybe on Wednesday. We have our good friend Amanda the Jedi because it is our annual tradition to now have midway through what do we call it last year? It's like
the best of the year so far.
Yeah, the must-watch part A for 2019. And we were laughing because we tried recording part of it last week, and we ended up an hour and 10 minutes just talking about TV shows.
Yeah.
After an hour 10 in, we realized, all right, so I guess this is part one. We'll have to do part two next week, which is going to be the best of the year, best movies. But the funniest part was that all of our favorite movies ended up being movies that haven't even come out yet. They all come out in August, at least for Amanda and I, because most of them were Sundance picks.
Yeah,
so we do have that coming up.
That's the bad thing about going to Sundance is seeing a bunch of great movies that you can't talk about until the end of the year.
Well, I'm going to talk about them because everyone needs to be there for opening day. I'm recently working on a Booksmart and late night video. Also Sundance, South by Movies that we enjoyed.
Yeah.
They made nothing. Did you know late night spent $33 million? Yo, one of the stuff that I hate. I wish I could like record myself doing research because only Alina sees it. But I flip out where I was like, it says $8 million for the movie.
Well, I thought it was $12 million that Amazon paid for late night.
No, I'm talking production budget.
Oh, production budget. Yeah.
I'm talking like what the movie cost to make.
Okay.
Then I'm talking the 13 that
there we go.
Yeah, Amazon paid for it, or maybe it could have been 12. I know the report had one.
You researched it more recently than me, I think.
Yeah, but none of that budget, like those numbers were irrelevant to me when I heard $33 million in advertising, and I'm just going, what are y'all doing here? Like 33, that's 3 times what the budget was for the movie just to reach people. That thing made back $4 million, $6 million. I don't need, like, it's not even a third of what it was supposed to be. It was insane. Anyways, like I said, we are going to be covering that stuff. And I'm very excited for it because August is going to be a huge month. And I just hope people see those movies because those are some of our favorites of the year. Like I said, we're going to be covering that. But this is more of a relax. We're probably going to, go 15, 20-ish minutes just answering some questions. I know we have some emails, but to give a shout out to the people in the chat, I'll answer some here. Shout out to the chat who's watching live. What do you guys think about BVS? I know Zach thinks it's a masterpiece. He's been hounding about the Snyder Cut for the longest time. You and I have never talked about Batman v Superman other than in memes.
Yeah.
I don't hate it. I actually have a video defending the Martha scene on the A to Z show. Is it angsty? Yeah, sure. I personally don't see it as like a Batman doesn't kill type of thing. I see it as like it's fan fiction. It's fan art. So what if Batman went crazy?
Right.
That's it.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's this thing where, particularly with our comic book movies, we get very much into like this is the only right way to do the character type of argument when I think it's more interesting to allow multiple visions. And, now we're getting to a point in movie history where the movies allow for multiple visions, where we have all these different Batmans and Joker movies coming out.
Yeah.
But you know me, I'm not big on superhero movies in general. I turned that thing off.
This is an art house film, Zach.
Oh, okay, I forgot. Forgot that Snyder's an auteur.
Gosh, wake up. What made you come up with the idea of explaining movies, says Anastasia? I started doing this back in like 2013, 2014. And I just loved the idea of being able to talk spoilers when I talk movies. That was pretty much it. I liked that aspect instead of going like, y'all seen my Spider-Man review, I would assume, where I'd be like, Jake Gyllenhaal was good, except for I can't tell you yet. It's like, I hate that. So I just started, instead of calling it a spoiler review, I would just called it like explain videos. And I was doing a lot of you can see a lot of what ended up becoming LME on the A to Z show. And you can see that it was too many things in one channel, which ended up becoming this. And then the Hear Me Out channel, which is going to be the music versions of it, to keep the A to Z show for more like, bigger productions, which I want to make it. But we talked about this before. If you search 2014 for explained keywords, I'm just saying there's receipts. And since then, bro, you were there when we searched up Men's Health Magazine now does ending explained videos.
Yeah, they pop up in the weirdest places now. It's certainly a big trend.
Bro, it's crazy. I kept my receipts. I know that much. Watch Midsommar. I did. I'm
Capsav
loving it
asked.
more and more.
Capsav asked what your favorite movie genre is.
My favorite movie genre has always been thrillers. I don't even know if you can consider that a genre.
I mean, it kind of is, although thrillers kind of blend into a bunch of other things. There's like sci-fi thrillers and horror thrillers.
I say like just anything that's a thriller. I'm a big fan of mysteries. If you can give me a good mystery, I'm there from the beginning to the end. Like honestly. Let's see. That's why
Have you played Fate Grand Order?
I don't know what the hell it is.
Yeah, neither do I.
What do you think about the new Cats movie musical with Taylor Swift, James Corden, and Idris Elba? You ready for this? About to scoop myself up Cats tickets in Chicago. Turns out I used to listen to Cats all the time, the VHS recording of the play. I do not remember it, but I really hope to go into this and be blown away. Like I want to come out of it like wanting to make fun of it, but going, you know what? I don't care. It's good. And I'm going to be on the love train before the movie comes out.
Have you heard anything about the production of this movie so far?
I just heard about the tweets describing the CinemaCon World exhibition for it. That's all I've heard.
Okay,
and it's insane. These are real length cats.
Yes, the thing that I heard coming out of CinemaCon is that apparently they have shrunk down all the actors to about cat size on like giant sets. So it's kind of like that scene in Eternal Sunshine when Jim Carrey is under the table, but like for a whole movie.
So day one, Dolby.
Exactly.
Is what you're telling me. Let's see. Are you gay? Boy, we happy as hell up in here. Scream. I heard that they're rebooting Scream, like the series. I think. I'm not exactly sure. If you're asking to Scream, I ain't got that. What's up with A Pulse Explained? Well, I haven't seen Pulse. I think that's one of the YouTube shows. If it's not, it's one of the other 47 shows I haven't seen. We are going to talk Stranger Things in a bit, though. Because Stranger Things is the Greta Van Fleet of television. Stranger Things is the logic. Bro, so they tweeted out today, have y'all caught the reference in season 3? And then everyone kept tweeting, and they said, no, it's not this poster, or this, or this, or this, or this. Bro, so you know like a threaded tweet?
Mm-hmm.
They had like 10 of those. And each one listed 6 other Easter eggs that people kept guessing that weren't there. But by the third thread, by number 15 that they had mentioned, I realized, y'all aren't writers. Y'all just admitted that in one episode, y'all had a poster and this, and dude, they were naming things that I didn't even think were supposed to be Easter eggs.
Right.
But when a writer admits to you that we put this in there for an effect, we put a videotape in there for you guys to go like, ooh, a videotape. No. That's not work, homie. Like, what? That's what y'all, it's what people start saying. It's like logic. All they're really doing is remixing other stuff. It ended up being a little Beetlejuice grave that they had off of a reflection of something, and I'm like, that's not even cool, but okay.
Yeah, it's always a weird thing when you balance all those references. I'm not so sure how I'm supposed to take Stranger Things, whether I'm like supposed to be paying more attention to, oh, this is in reference to the Goonies, this is a reference to the Terminator, or if I'm just kind of like,
oh, they just straight up said it was a Terminator, which when I saw them, I'm like,
yeah.
Oh, so this is all we're gonna do for like the rest of the season. It's cute. It's a cute show. I hate to hate it because it's adorable, right?
Right.
But at the same time, I hate when someone claims like it's original, and I'm like, they're not even hiding it's a new Coke commercial.
Yeah, I mean, it's like I think it depends on how highly you value the art of a remix.
Bro, it's as quick as this. Yeah, that's actually the best way to put it. I'm not even. I'll say the rest for the video. What do
Hector asks, "What's your favorite music video of all time?"
Saving Me by Nickelback. I'm just gonna leave it like that. Search it up. What's yours?
Favorite music video of all time? I really love the Fatboy Slim one with Christopher Walken dancing. I probably watched that one more than any other music video.
I haven't seen that one. What do you think of the new Mulan trailer? I don't know if you saw that one.
Yeah, I did. I am generally skeptical of all the Disney live action ones, but if you ask me which of the Disney cartoons seems like it's best suited for live action, it's probably Mulan. It looks like it could be pretty epic.
Interesting. I looked at it and I just hope they don't make it generic.
Yeah.
Like I feel a lot of their other movies are. I felt Cinderella was very generic. I was like, this isn't even. It feels like a way too posh. So you know how like Baz Luhrmann takes it way too over the top. I don't
Right.
think
This
they
is
take it
like
over the top enough.
yes.
Yeah, in a sense. I also heard they're cutting out Mushu
Yeah. Don't believe
and the
Mushu's in
cricket.
this, and I don't know if they're even doing the singing in this.
Okay. Thoughts on the whole Uncle Ben debate. This is a very interesting one.
Yeah.
Have
So
you
you have
had
to fill me in. I didn't really bother clicking on this.
Okay, so Iron Man 5 came out this past weekend, right? Starring Spider-Man, and a lot of people have gone to go see it, and they feel like Uncle Ben has just been erased from this completely. The only remnants of Uncle Ben, because as you know, Peter Parker, where does the line come from? With great power comes great responsibilities. A really big part of Spider-Man has been that. We've seen it twice before. We knew eventually it was going to have to be its own thing, and a lot of people feel that he's been replaced with Iron Man, thus making the Spider-Man that they've grown up loving a little bit different because now he's not as he's a part of a bigger world. And it's like, yes, someone tweeted this out today and I can't remember who it was, so I feel really bad because it was a great tweet. They practically had said, y'all got used to Spider-Man being the only hero for 3 movies, for 2 movies. Y'all wanted him in the Avengers, but you didn't want him in the Avengers. Zach, what do we always say? Y'all want to watch movies for a living until you're watching movies for a living, and you're on the 3rd one, and you go, "Wait a minute, I'm still supposed to remember everything from the first and edit that footage for the moment he joined the Avengers, it became a completely different thing. Now all of a sudden, this dude is with a bunch of other superheroes, and he's not the only superhero. He's a part of a bigger machine, and it tastes a little different. A lot of people didn't expect that, and I'm okay with it, not to the extent where a lot of people are complaining. He has Ben's initials when he goes on his trip. You see this in the trailer. I'm not spoiling anything that isn't in the trailer because we always get that. First of all, if you're a Spider-Man fan, you would have seen it already. Two, again, I'm pretty sure you don't care at this point. But again, still all trailer stuff. His suitcase says his uncle's initials. And you see it get destroyed in the trailer. He doesn't really care. And it's sort of like, yeah, it's been a really big thing for a lot of people. I have compared some Spider-Man fans into Sonic fans. So, I mean, there is that. I don't see there as being a debate. I'm just going to refer back to what Zach said. We're in a bigger world where we get so many interpretations and variations. If you like the other ones, the craziest thing is that they're out on 4K right now. You can own them. I like the movie, though.
Mai asks, what's the weirdest TV show you ever watched?
The weirdest TV show I've ever watched would have been a Disney Channel original series called So Weird, Believe It or Not. Do you remember that show?
I do remember that, and I do remember it being like too weird for me to want to watch it when I was younger.
Yeah, it was that and Can of Worms. Yeah.
There's a whole bunch of weird stuff on Adult Swim that I've seen. For some reason, I'm only thinking of the ones that are maybe not as weird, like Aqua Teen Hunger Force or Super Jail, but it gets a lot weirder than that on Adult Swim.
Interesting. Shout out Brianna. She's a patron. Appreciate that. We also had another patron who sent in an email if you want to read it.
Yeah,
Kevin.
Kevin asked us a couple of questions. First of all, he wanted to get our response to the news that there's a forthcoming Regal subscription plan, possibly later this month. Any thoughts on Regal joining the movie subscription plan game?
Excited. Enthralled. We have a couple friends who only have Regals near them.
Right, yeah.
Barber, shout out to him. He only goes to Regals. Like, AMCs aren't I mean, they're the biggest chain, but they're not everywhere. I'm excited for that. I really wish Cinemark shaped up and did theirs. Like, they came in early. They're like, oh, we got ours ready. It's like, you're not fooling anyone. This is just a points plan. Like, it's not even good at all.
Right.
Like, I get $1 off popcorn. That's all I get. Regal sounds good. I haven't read so much into it. I'm obviously going to get it to make a video for it as well. But it sounds just as good as the AMC one, and I hope that for a lot of people, they are able to take advantage of it. I wish more people were taking advantage of AMC A-List. I know a lot of people who are near the theaters and aren't getting it. I even had some friends who have gotten it, and they haven't gone to the theater to use it. I was like, use this. Like, you can really use this. Of course, busy schedules and stuff and locations, but I'm excited for it.
Yeah, I mean,
a lot of theaters.
Hopefully, it's bringing us closer to a day where all of these major theater chains have their own subscription plan, and that will include the theater chains that I go to since I'm not near AMC's or Regals. But yeah, I mean, it's always exciting. And as we talked about on a previous episode of Intercut, it seems like the future of the movie ticket subscription plan is through theater chain subscription services and not stuff like MoviePass, which leads into Kevin's next question. What do we think of MoviePass temporarily stopping their service? Do we think it's going to come back or not?
Kevin, I know you're smarter than this, and I know you still don't have a MoviePass subscription. I really hope you don't. I left mine for a bit afterwards just because I needed to see what was going on, but it was very apparent they were done. So I think like a lot of people quit. You know, I stuck with the Cinemia thing and then reported on how they just backtracked and took everything. But at this point, if you're able to trust, this is a chain. These are places with buildings. It was always leading up to the theaters. Just like it was, like you just mentioned, it was always leading up to Netflix having to rely on their original content because NBC was going to call their stuff back and Disney was going to call their stuff back. It shouldn't mean absolutely anything. If you still have a subscription service and they're literally taking your money and not giving you the service, you got to go. You got to end it. I don't know if there's still some contract stuff going on there, but just end it. You got to cut. No, that's just, I mean, they're done. They finished a while ago. What they're going to end up being is what this thing called VidAngel used to be. VidAngel wanted to host movies for $1 while they like filtered everything. And then they got sued by all of the big companies. And now they owe $380 million back to those companies because they were never going to win. There was this Christian organization that figured they were going to be doing Christian things. Turns out they broke the law. And now they owe all that money and they don't want to give back people their stuff. That really what they're marketing now is a plug-in service. They used to let you rent movies. Now they're just like a plug-in captioning service to hide out the bad words. MoviePass is just going to be a discount service. MoviePass is just going to turn ever so slowly to movietickets.com and Atom. But Atom has actual hardware in theaters right now.
Right. So eventually they'll likely shift into some form of a legitimate business, but they've had so many troubles that it does seem like it's a sooner or later thing, and maybe that is now that MoviePass is finally just gone for good. I went down with the sinking ship. I've got my MoviePass notification here. I was able to see Toy Story 4 not so long ago with my MoviePass, and that might be the last movie that I see with MoviePass.
Hey, well, at least it was a good one. It was a good one. I didn't even know you still had it. Damn. Okay.
Yeah. It works well enough, even though it doesn't work that well. I figured as long as I'm seeing one thing a month, it's worth it to stay with it.
Yeah, especially with the New York prices. Yeah. I'm still, when we saw that one movie, I'm still paying it off the payment plan. It's crazy, bro.
That interest, they get you on that interest. Rainy Cloud 10 actually wanted to know if we've watched Dark, and this is where I step aside and let you talk about, I think, like your favorite show right now.
It's a very good show, very much invested. I'm not done with season 2 yet, but I am gonna make a quicker video on that one. As you know, the Chucky series was 7 movies, Spider-Man was 7 movies, Toy Story was 4 movies, plus all the extra features, with 3 being a 5-hour extra feature, disc. So those have been like the really bigger projects that I've been working on. Dark is going to be a little bit quicker only because the whole story isn't told yet. Like I can't review the whole thing because it's a 3-part series. Season 3 is going to bring it all in together, but I love that show. It's very intriguing right now. I might watch it right after this. I saw we did have another question from Christian who says, when younger, did you ever go to a drive-in over in Chicago, or was it always just movie theaters? I believe you're referencing to, sheesh, I am just burping up over here. Apologies for that. It's because he's bringing up the memories. He's bringing up the soda that I used to have. In West Chicago, there was a drive-in called the Cascade Drive-In Theater. I loved it. It just closed down the beginning of this year. I used to go to that theater all the time. Have you ever been to a drive-in theater?
Of course.
Dude, you could sneak in all the food. You don't even have to sneak it in. They don't care. Yeah. Bring in the food, all this stuff. And what I loved about our drive-in theater is that it had a competition with the Scoobies next door. That was a hot dog place. The Scoobies didn't want to turn off their lights. And the theater was like, nah, you need to turn them off. And they're like, no, we're not. So they put a huge sign that said, no food from Scoobies allowed. So Scoobies added an extra matinee of lights, a marquee of lights. They said it goes with the theater, huh? So I never really cared for it because I mean I'm not going to the drive-in theater for quality, for the blacks, for the contrast. There was always a glaring light on the side, but man, I miss that theater. It's closed. I used to go there all the time. I loved it. It was a great theater. I don't know if you noticed any other ones, if you see them pop out.
Yeah.
Other than people asking to be noticed, which is not the way to be noticed. Let's see. What do
The
you
way to
think
be
about?
ignored.
Yeah, we mentioned
William
the
wanted to know,
Mulan.
what do you thought of Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark?
Scary stories to a lot. We get that question a lot.
Yeah, I mean, everybody knows Guillermo's your tío, so.
Yeah, well, some people actually think that's real. Someone said, I have to stop watching your videos because I feel like you're a sellout because of your uncle. I was like, yeah, you should probably stop. You should probably stop at this point.
Yeah.
Let's see. What do you think about the reboots coming out, like Mulan, maybe Scream, even Charlie's Angels? So Charlie's Angels is the one we have not mentioned yet.
Yeah, I mean, we did have this talk on the Intercut recently, so you can head over to youtube.com/intercutpod or check out the podcast feed and hear our thoughts on this recent slew of reboots and remakes and basically how Hollywood is revisiting these familiar stories, but with a new angle. But we haven't talked about Charlie's Angels, as you mentioned. Did you watch that trailer?
I did. It's Elizabeth Banks who's directing
Elizabeth Banks directing, and she's in it as well.
Yeah, and Kristen. Well, she's Bosley.
Yes, and Kristen Stewart seems like the most famous of the Angels.
Of the Angels, easily hands down. However, I am excited that the Pink Ranger's getting a couple more roles. Princess Jasmine, shout out. Sure. I mean, I've been very big on. This doesn't even really apply to it because this is just a remake.
Yeah, I mean, it's a revisiting of sorts.
The third time, I guess.
Yeah, I've talked about in the past how I feel like Charlie's Angels is due for sort of like a feminist reinvention, given like we're in the Me Too movement and everything, and it's always kind of been like a male gaze sort of show. Mm-hmm. So it seems like a cool idea, and I like Elizabeth Banks a lot. I don't particularly like Pitch Perfect, and that's the only stuff that I know she's done as a director, so I'm not sold yet. I didn't watch the trailer.
It's okay.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
I'm more excited for the Ocean's 9 movie whenever that comes out.
Right.
I think we had mentioned a little bit of Stranger Things. Did you have something else to mention about Stranger Things? That could be the thing that wraps us up right here.
So one thing we didn't mention about Stranger Things is how you felt about it in comparison to other seasons. And I know for me, I was really thankful that unlike season 2, this didn't really separate Elle from the rest of the gang. I like when the show has its moments of like kids being kids, and all the little squabbling relationship dramas in season 3 were some of my favorite things. I also thought Joe Keery as Steve is getting really good as an actor, just really funny and able to kind of sell some moments that aren't necessarily the best written. I had some issues with how easy some things were in season 3, but I felt like it was a fun ride. I liked the pacing of it, and it felt kind of like one big action-packed episode to me this season. It might be challenged season 1 as my favorite, but I think ultimately season 1 is my favorite of the 3. You actually liked season 2 before more than season 1, though, didn't you?
I did for a little bit, and then I know not a lot of people are starting to hate episode 7,
8.
Yeah, well, everyone hates 8 because that was where Kathleen Kennedy went off the rails. But episode 7 was when they were trying to introduce all these other things, all these other spinoffs. I didn't find it as bad as everyone else. That said, man, dude, season 3 was okay. It was fun. Alina was more invested in it than I was. I just don't know how much longer they're going to keep the same storyline going, or they're just going to continue taking more stuff from the 80s, because this was jam-packed with songs that were like, cool. Okay, so the budget was there. Hey, y'all earned the money here. So Terminator. Okay. Oh, y'all caught under the skin. Oh, okay, y'all definitely caught under. Did you have that?
Yeah.
I see what they do with the good-looking guy, who was clearly the best good-looking one on the show, easily the lifeguard.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, guys, this is under the skin. Then I see Elle, which, first of all, her name's 11. They didn't even bother to give her another name, which I didn't realize till season 3. I was like, y'all just shortened it to Elle. Like, can you imagine just shortening like your experiment name to just the first no. And she enters the set of Under the Skin also as well. And seeing Chernobyl recently, I just realized that 2019 just hates Russians. They just no one is giving Creed 2, this Chernobyl, like I don't know where it's stopping. I'm pretty sure that the Olympus.
I mean, maybe it's the 80s throwback. Maybe it's like the election stuff seeping into our movies. I don't know.
Bro, I have no idea what's going on. I mean, I guess if it's for the times, but yeah, they missed on a lot of stuff. I heard a lot of people coming up with, I don't know if you want to call it fan fiction, but alternate versions that sounded way more interesting, like legitimately interesting. Like not people trying to just like, oh, I'm a better writer than this, but they legitimately said things that didn't have to do with, have you drank New Coke? Bro, when they got to I'm not arguing with anybody about this one right here. New Coke, it's really good at the mall, at the grocery store. Yeah. I don't understand. It's not better than the original. I mean, it's good. Just because it's a little remixed flavor, then that's fine. I get it. You're selling the product and you're also selling the show because it's a new version of it. Very clever. Bro, you want to know the thing about Szechuan sauce? They sold that after it went viral off of Rick and Morty.
Right.
New Coke, I'm ending with this, was being sold before Stranger Things 3 premiered.
Oh,
you didn't know that, did you?
No, Bro, I didn't.
When I'm watching the new Coke stuff, I'm not having it. Alina showed it to me 2 weeks before it came out. She said, it sounds like new Coke, or it sounds like Stranger Things 3 is just going to be a new Coke commercial. And boy, did we write down all 20-something times they have Coke, especially new Coke in the thing. Yeah, it is a ridiculous amount. Yeah, they were selling new Coke, pre-orders of it before it went live. Like, what? You can't. I mean, that's more. It's a product. I don't know how much more you can prove that it's a product than that.
Yeah.
And it's crazy because it's still enjoyable, like new Coke, but at the same time, it is very much a rehash. Other than that, I don't know if you had any other thoughts for this or any other things to plug.
Not too much. I mean, just check out Intercut. We'll be back with a bunch of stuff this week, including a spoiler review of Toy Story 4, our best movie and best TV of the year so far, and just a regular new episode. So yeah, youtube.com/intercutpod.
Have you seen Midsommar at all?
I haven't. I was gonna go tonight.
Bro, you gotta watch it.
Yeah, I know. Maybe we'll record something for that too tomorrow.
Brianna had said, if you could say it in one word, I would say therapeutic. I know that's a word that some of you are saying for the first time. I agree with it 100%. Wow. It's not going to feel like that, but I got the LME and we got the let us explain that we're going to work on as well. Bro, big fan. Big fan of it. Not at the beginning. I still like Hereditary more, but wow. A lot of people are going to think it's I'm going to put it to you this way. It is, if you're going with somebody who you're dating, wow. Bro, I sat there.
Better be in a good relationship.
Bro, and the two next to me were like, yeah, she a hoe. Said his girl. She says something on the screen. Sounds like something you would do. Mm-hmm. Ooh! Your screenings may be really awkward. It is a very interesting lesson. I will say that. So I do recommend go watch that. Go watch all the after credit scenes in the new Spider-Man and check out Intercut Podcast, which we should be doing a live stream soon. And then also setting up a lot of the extra perks and stuff. So shout out to all those patrons. Shout out to all of the viewers really, and all of the intercuties and we stuck with intercuties and interviewers that we'll be seeing tomorrow. Take care.